away Steam notification. 30. Audio and video this time. All right, there we go. Thank you, Dicecast. Thank you so much. Now, the video quality is probably going to be noticeably worse than before because I just realized that my laptop isn't able to handle fast video encoding. Um, so I had to up it to super fast, which means that it's going to focus on speed rather than quality. So you might be seeing a lot of pixels. I don't really have a solution for you. Oh shit! I just dropped one of the screws in there. Okay, I'll fish that out later. Let's work on this one first. I don't really have a solution for you, other than hoping that I fix this because until this computer starts working again, um, this is what I'm going to be streaming with, which is honestly a piece of crap. This is a work laptop. There's no dedicated graphics card. It's not even using a Core i series CPU. All right. Oh, actually, the screw fell right over here. Thank you, magnet on the CPU fan, for catching that for me. Dice Chuck watches YouTube at 480, anyways. That's okay. All right. I think that's all the screws. Just 4? Really? Okay. Let's remove the PCIe. Actually, that should be pushed down instead of pulled up. There we go. So the riser is removed. And now I should be able to, if I can just fish these out. It's not going to be easy. Here, let's unplug the USB 3 header. There we go. And then I'm going to have to squeeze that through. Come on. Don't bend the motherboard, please. Now, if I'm going to be proper about this, I would remove the PSU as well, but this is going to take way too long if I do that. I'd rather risk breaking everything than making sure that it's going to come off. JP, you really should be sporting and give us the excitement of watching you do this with the power supply plugged in. Oh, so you want to actively watch me die? Okay, great, great. I feel your angle is working against you. It very well might be, but there, we got it off. That's what she said. And now we've got to look at the back of the motherboard and a better look at the cooler here. So this is the cooler. It's very slim. It's all copper. I'm trying to work with an angle here. You can see the copper sheen, that cooler. This part here with the heat pipes. Not this one. Not this one. So I have to remove this cooler, get at the CPU, open it up, crack it open, and hopefully, replacing the thermal interface material or whatever gunk Intel uses with liquid metal. Actually, I already did that. I did replace it with liquid metal once before. So the problem very well might be that the liquid metal is now too liquid and has seeped out, and I need to reapply. Well, only die a little bit, says Dicechuck. Okay, I'll die a little bit, just for you. Okay. I've already died several times a little bit just for you by putting my geeky know-how on the line and making you not like this all the time. Santago, F for PC. Yes. Please press F to pay respects. This PC is not dead. It's not really dead. Just one part of it is kind of faulty. I can actually just replace the CPU and everything should be fine. But that's going to be kind of expensive, and I'd like to save money if I can. This would really be a show about dice and die if you did die. Okay. Yeah, it would be. That would be sad. Well, I would be sad about dying. Actually, no, I wouldn't feel anything about dying. Okay, pulling this off. Uh-oh. That's not coming off, weirdly. I think I may have glued this on way too hard. Not glued. Well, there might be way too much thermal paste to remove this. Here. Okay, I gotta really tug at this. There we go. Okay. So that's plenty of thermal paste. Actually, that might be too much thermal paste. I can reapply that too later. It's very slim. All that thermal paste. It's like what do you call that? Like a bunch of craters underwater. I like how it looks. Might take a picture of that later. Anyway, this is what we wanted to get at. The CPU block, or die. Oh, not die yet. It's just the CPU. The die is inside underneath this big silver part. So I'm going to put this aside for now. All of this is going to go aside for now. Yeah. Even though you're small, you're pretty heavy. Okay. I shouldn't have cheated and used cake icing for thermal paste. I didn't use cake icing for thermal paste. I used thermal grizzly for thermal paste. So, in case you didn't know, and you're not being serious, I'm using CryoRig CP7 for that. And then for the thermal paste on the inside of the CPU, I'm going to be using Conductonaut, which is a liquid metal thermal paste. This is going to be for replacing the gasket, because I'm going to be breaking the seal. Centagoy came from the ER yesterday. It sucks for several reasons, among them being I had to cancel my game yesterday. Yikes. Why'd you have to go to the ER? Are you alright? You're not dying on us, are you? Okay. Yeah, too bad. Alright, you might be wondering what the heck is this. This is a little doodad to break off the seal of that CPU. I'm going to be taking off the silver part so that we can get at the actual die. Okay. Have to remove these all the way. Sure. Okay, why not? Okay. And 3. Okay. So we put this arrow side pointing towards me. Do I need to refocus anything, guys, or are we good? Let me know if you guys can't see clearly. Although I don't know how much that will be due to out of focus camera and how much of it is due to just the shitty quality of the actual stream machine. I'm gonna clean this up first. So got some tissue. I would use cotton balls, but all of the cotton balls in the entire house are now going to cleaning up the baby's butts. So just going to use tissue. There we go. Wipe all of that thermal gunk off. This is actually really, really good thermal grease, and I just applied this over the weekend, so I kind of feel bad about wasting it. I'm happy that the application was clean, though. Okay. Yeah. Well, I got some on the applicator or the delitter, but that should be fine. All right, nice and clean. Put that top half on top there. And all I got to do is screw it back in. And then twist this bit here. What's going to happen is this screw is going to be pushing this block, which is going to shove this part right off of the substrate. Okay. And hopefully it doesn't damage the actual CPU die in the process. It's kind of risky. Kind of risky. Santiago says bacterial spike, very high fever and dehydration. I was in a daze for half the day. Eesh. Wow. I'm hoping you're feeling better now, though, buddy. I was discharged, but I need to see if the antibiotics will work. Yeah, hopefully they do. And you got to stick to that antibiotic schedule, whatever it is. All right, you got to stick to it because if you miss one, your little germs in your body are going to grow resistant to it. Okay, for this part, I need to hear. I'm going to be taking off one side of my earphone. The loudness of my voice is probably going to be affected. But I'll hold it. I'll hold this right next to the microphone too, so that you can hear it pop up. Be using this Allen wrench, slowly, slowly turning it. Actually, here, let's hold it. Slowly turning it. I think maybe we won't hear a pop after all, because I actually already removed this once before. Because I can see the top just sliding off here through the hole. Okay, that's kind of anticlimactic, but if it worked, then great. My voice became weird, yeah, because I had to shift the microphone off to the side. I mentioned this. You guys weren't listening. All right. Eric says, thankfully someone told her to go to the hospital and had her looked at super fast. That's great. Good thing that your aunt didn't die to that some years ago. There we go. Let's see how the damage is. Okay, cool. It's a clean cut. You can take this off and take a look at the die. So that liquid metal is still very liquid. If you can see here, the sheen is incredibly nice. Maybe I can. This is kind of exciting for a lot of people who are techies. So I'm going to try and zoom this in as much as I can. Also, you might find it hilarious how my setup looks right now. It's in the Discord chat. So if you guys want to see how this was put together, it's all there. All right. So that is what a computer CPU looks like when you remove the top. When you remove this thing here on the right side of the screen. Normally, the silver parts here are not so liquid. What Intel uses by default is something much, much more crappy, more like toothpaste. And you really have to work to remove that. So what I've replaced it with was literal liquid metal. Metal that's still some sort of alloy of metal that is liquid at room temperature and hotter. So that maintains better contact between the silicone, the silicone and the thermal interface. And that, in turn, transfers the heat to this metal block. All right, enough of that, because my arms are getting tired, and I'm going to start working on putting this back together. Yikes. This setup is really bad, guys. I'm literally just using a clothesline, a clothing rack, to keep my camera hanging above the table. I'm using a cell phone, what do you call that? Like the clamp arm to keep my webcam in place here. Uh, this is really ridiculous. But desperate times call for desperate measures. So taking a look at this, the liquid metal is still very liquid. I don't know if I want to completely reapply I'm not seeing any hot spots, like spots that are overly dry. Although, on second thought, maybe it is a little bit on some parts here. Yeah, okay. Maybe just one little dollop of liquid metal, one new dollop of liquid metal, and then we'll be good. So I'm going to go ahead and take this thermal grizzly, conduct a knot, take the applicator, need this thing. That still has liquid metal on it, so I'm going to clean that off with one tissue paper square. There we go. That came off so easy. Yeah, it just goes to show how viscous liquid metal is. You guys shouldn't play with this stuff. Look at that. I'm dabbing the tissue, just dabbing it with normal hand force, and little drops of liquid metal are coming out of the tube. It's very, very viscous. Okay. I actually don't have to remove the liquid metal from there first. I can probably still use bits of it because that never really came into contact with air yet. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, it's too much. So I put in the applicator, it squeezed out some liquid metal already. And believe it or not, this drop that you see building up at the tip here is way, way, way too much liquid metal. Don't know if you can actually see it. But here, I'll zoom it in again. Oops, wrong way. So this drop on the tip of this applicator, that's too much liquid metal. That's too much. It's going to leak out of the CPU and it might damage the rest of the components. Hey S'mores, hello. Welcome to this really jank stream of me trying to fix the stream PC. No, the T1000 was too much liquid metal. Yeah, that and maybe Alex Mack was too much liquid metal. I miss Alex Mack. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just dab that off onto the tissue. It looks like solder, right? Um, but it will stay liquid forever, essentially, unlike solder, which cools off very quickly and easily. Okay, let's get this out of the way and put this up front and center and flip off the entire stream. Okay, so this should be enough. There. Let's push it off to the sides just to promote contact. Thermal Grizzly, Pog, what CPU is that? This is old. It's just a 7700K, which is why I couldn't find a replacement when I went to the shop. Um, the only replacements they had for that would fit into this socket into my motherboard is something much much more expensive. I think it was a 7900K, which I don't want to buy because that's not a good purchase anymore. Not with all of the new CPUs that came out. I have an 8300H in my laptop. Oh, yes, actually, that's quite good. It's an i5, I think, 8300H. I think that's still a four. Is it a four core or it's a four thread, dual core four thread? I don't know. I don't really know about the 8 series because I wasn't interested in putting a computer together on Intel's 8th generation. Dice Chuck saying more than enough for JP to get mercury poisoning. Yes, yes, mercury poisoning is a big problem, um, and that's why we should go to Mars and not Mercury because Mercury is just going to poison us all. So yes, let's push for Mars, everyone. Ignore Mercury and push for Mars. 7700K is nice. It's all right. I mean, I'm kind of pissed off that You know, when I bought the 7700K, it was literally a month before they revealed the 8700K, which, if you recall, was Intel's first consumer level 6-core processor, hexa-core processor for the desktops. I don't know what I'm doing actually. I think I may have put way too much liquid metal. Um, through capillary action, more of a liquid metal might have come out through the nozzle. So I'm just gonna suck that back in just a little bit through the syringe. Yeah, looks like it's working. Yeah, cool. That's vacuuming it like perfectly. The excess is going back into the tube. Excellent. Excellent. Wouldn't want to waste this because just like this little tube is like $20. Your 8300H is 4 cores with 8 threads. Okay, now I can see why you got annoyed. Yeah, yeah, I got super annoyed. Watching LTT videos made me like this shit. Dude, LTT is the best. I love their channel. And if you didn't already notice, Mark and I, we kind of model our table talk after the WAN show. So it's you can tell that's why we're not super serious. Um, we we're very chill on table talk because that's how they are on the WAN show. Oh my goodness! I accidentally pushed instead of pulled. Um, holy crap! Look at that. It's just a one big silver blob now. LTT is the shit. Yeah, I have a Ryzen 2600. Wow, Dagoy, that's nice. So that's an 8 core processor, I think. Second gen Ryzen is awesome, and I'm super happy for AMD now. Actually, um, I don't know why I'm not able to get that corner there. I'm super happy for AMD that they're able to kick Intel's ass this generation, and presumably for the coming generations. I need to get a Q-tip, or actually, no, I can just use this one here. All right, Q-tip. See if I can push this over to the edge. There we go. So the reason why this went by pretty fast is because, once again, I already applied liquid metal to this CPU when I first bought it. So I already got rid of Intel's regular thermal interface gunk, which is, again, toothpaste-like material. Not good at all. And replaced it with this really good thermal grizzly stuff. Um, I'm just going to go once over on the actual heat spreader, just to make sure that the new liquid metal will stick. So I'm just going to go once over all of the existing kind of like I don't know how to describe it, like the existing dried up residue. It's not really dried up because again, liquid metal doesn't dry up very quickly. At least not conductonaut, cryonaut. Um, but I will go over it like this, just so that when I put it back together on top, it sticks really well. All right, moving this out of the way. Okay, some of that liquid metal leaked out, so I'm just going to wipe off again the existing one off of the Q-tip onto this tissue, which is just slightly off camera, and then just pick up what I can from the sides here. Yeah, look at that. It's kind of smearing. Actually, if you're good at makeup, you're probably going to be good at doing this too. It is. I'm glad AMD is back. Is LTT on YouTube or Twitch? LTT is on both YouTube and Twitch, but most, if not like 99% of their videos are on YouTube. Twitch is where they go to only for the WAN show. Um, but even then, for the WAN show, they multi-stream to YouTube and their own bespoke streaming service, Floatplane, to which I am subscribed. Floatplane is awesome. I love how you can watch super high bitrate content there, and and it doesn't give a shit. Um, I'm not able to get all of that out, so I'm gonna go in there with my fingers, just with another piece of tissue paper, see if I can as close as possible. I apologize, by the way, for like the dirty fingernails. I was really torn up before the stream over whether I should clip my nails first. Um, but I figured, need I might need the nails to actually get into some of the nooks and crannies here. So of course, I'm going to practice good finger hygiene and clip and clean after this. Um, but for now, just in case, I need the extra tools. These are tools. These fingers are tools given to you by God or whatever else you want to believe in, um, to do the stuff that humans do. So why not use them? Eh? Dream job is LTT because imagine getting shit for free. Linus actually did do a video on that. You don't have to be LTT to get shit for free. In fact, full disclosure, when I was doing my personal channel, Reveus here on YouTube and Twitch, I did get free swag occasionally. You just have to be savvy with how you ask from it. Ask ask for it from the manufacturers and the retailers. Just be really savvy. Present yourself as someone who knows what he's talking about, who's doing review shit. This is actually how I got into Unbox Guru. Jeez, I just realized I do have a face cam. You know what? I'm gonna put the face cam somewhere else, so it's easier for you guys to see. Well, if you guys want to see me, but here we go. Yeah. So if you recall, I have another like one of my new jobs is with Unbox Guru, and they do unboxings and stuff, um, as the name implies. And the way that we ask for materials or merch is we're a new channel, right? There's not that many videos, but the way that we ask for stuff is we just approach the marketing uh, the marketing offices of the various merchants that we interact with. We pitch via email. Sometimes that's all it takes, and then they send you a product. You got to send it back though. Other times, we have meetings in person to explain a little bit more what the channel is like and what we expect to gain and what they can expect to achieve. And that's it, really. You let them decide if you're worth it. All right, so, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply some more of this. This is silicone sealant. It's just a gasket silicone. So just applying a little bit. I don't know if I should remove the old one. It is a guide though. Probably not. How do they send merch here in the Philippines? China? Makes sense. Yes, it's actually through China. Most of the time. Okay, let me get a better angle so you guys can see that gooey goodness coming out of the tube. Ah, that sounded so wrong. Uh-oh. Did this dry up? Oh shit. Okay. This might have dried up. Might have to clean this off. Poke a new hole in there. It did. It's completely dried up. Oh no. I might have to go gasketless. Which in itself is not a bad thing. It just means that if this liquid metal leaks out, there's a chance that it could leak onto the other components next to it on the motherboard. And I do not want that as much as possible. I do not want that. This is completely dry. This is completely dry. All of that in here. This is dry to the bone. So I'm just gonna cut it. Um, Cut it right open. Anyway, this isn't as expensive as the liquid metal. This was just what, less than $3 for this tube. It's easy, easy, easy to replace. You know what? Let's just open up the back end here, the other end. There we go. Tear that right off. And that might actually make it easier to apply now. Okay, squeeze the back. See if there's any non-dry stuff left. We only really need enough to have the top of this heat spreader just have it adhere to the substrate. We don't need to cover everything. Ah, shit. It's completely dried through. Do we have anything worth using in here? Opening up this tube. Nope, that's completely dry. Look at that, all of that. Such a waste. But I will not let that stop me from trying. So what we can do is I will just hold this down. Um, there will be force applied on it on top, like because of this, because of the cooler pushing down on it on top, and the screws holding the cooler in place. The force should hold the heat spreader in place. Now the question is, if the liquid metal leaks out, like moves off of where I applied it earlier, is it going to leak out? That's the risk. I don't think it will, because having looked at this already, the initial application was a year and a half ago, and it hasn't moved since then. That's plenty enough time for me to buy more silicone and seal it again in the future. So I think it's safe enough to just place this on top and then place it up back onto the motherboard. So let's do that. I'm gonna put all of this aside. We need this later. I forgot what this was for. Oh, this was to actually reapply. Oops. I just plopped this back on when I should have been using this tool. Whatever. Didn't need it. Put all of this aside. This liquid metal, I should probably put this away. Close that now. Save this for another day or another application if we need to. And then we're going to just put it all back together. JP Ingenuity, really no hope for the silicone. Yeah, really none. It was completely dried. I chucked it away into the trash can already. Completely dried. I have no idea. Maybe, you know what? Can pulled it out of the trash can. Gross. Do you think? Do you think we can just use alcohol and get this to be usable again just for a little while? I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't want to risk it. That might change its chemical properties entirely. I have no idea. Don't want to risk it, and I don't want to use something like cyanoacrylate or super glue or uh, or hot glue, because this will still get hot and it might melt the super glue or the hot glue, and that's not good. Whoops, that's the top of the case. Okay. All right, let's put all of this aside. Stick here. SSD here. Heat it up. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. All right. Um, I really should have something to cover this area here because those pins are fully exposed, and if something falls down on it and bends a pin, I'm fucked. There's no other way around it. I'm fucked if that gets bent. There's a little bit of thermal paste there. Let me just get that off. I swear, it's never intentional. whenever I say these things. It's never, never, never intentional. You guys should just not have dirty minds like me. Who am I kidding? I have a dirty fucking mind. I love it. All right. The problem with heating it up, I don't know if that's going to be a good solution because uh, this already gets plenty hot, 100 degrees centigrade. Um, and while I know that's nowhere near like the temperature of a flame, of an open flame or anything, I don't think that uh, me handling anything like that right now without the proper tools is going to be beneficial to anyone really. Could probably use a heat gun, but then I don't know. I don't know. Just a lot. This entire stream is just me going. I don't know. I actually don't know if this is gonna work. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So once again, the heat spreader is in place thanks to the bracket. The bracket is actually putting down some pressure onto the heat spreader. So that's probably going to be fine. That the silicone isn't usable because I didn't remove the existing silicone. So there's that kind of gasket barrier between the integrated heat spreader and the substrate. So that might be enough to stop any liquid metal from leaking out. And yes, I'm willing to risk the welfare of my computer on that maybe. I'm just going to take off my finger oils, rub, rub, rub with some isopropyl, and then put on a dollop, a new dollop. Actually, no. Let's get this screwed down first. Oh, wait. No, we don't want to get that screwed down because if we do that, I can't put back this this cooler. So, yeah, let's do this first. Might be wondering, JP, what the heck are you doing now? I'm wondering the same thing. I'm looking for. Did I throw away that Q-tip? Oh darn, I did. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a Q-tip. 1 second. Thanks. Sorry about that. All right, so I grabbed the Q-tip because I want to salvage some of this CP7. I'm just going to grab some and then reapply by breaking off Q-tip in half. Can you do a Bob Ross impersonation, JP? This little screw lives over here. Get your titanium white thermal paste. Just touch the component ever so gently and paint some pretty little paste, pretty little hills over the CPU die. Uh, yeah, I could probably do some ASMR if my voice wasn't naturally nasally. There we go. So I broke that in half. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. I'll try and talk a little bit more calm and with more purpose than I usually do. So the reason why we broke off the Q-tip in half is so that we could use the stick part to just grab some of the excess thermal paste and reapply. Just reapply over there with that. We don't want to use cotton too much because there might be fibers and residue that could get stuck there. I could use it to just remove, but if I want to reapply, I'm probably going to use the stick end instead of the cotton end. There we go. Now, just to be sure, I know this looks like plenty of thermal paste, and it really is. Just to be sure, I'm going to put one more small, tiny, tiny, tiny drop. One rice grain size drop of thermal paste onto. Oh, I see a hair. Get out of there, you hair. That was probably a beard hair. Forgive me. All right. Going to spread just a little tiny rice grain drop size dollop of thermal paste here. Squeeze that ever so gently. There you go. Come out, you little poop. And we'll seal this up once again. What GPU do you have? Asks Xforms. This is a GTX 1070 Katana from Galax. I chose this GPU specifically because it is the strongest graphics card, the most powerful graphics card that is also only single slot, which means that I can use a PCIe bifurcation riser to turn the dual slot PCIe output of this case into a dual channel 8 by 8 instead of a single 16, to attach both the graphics card as well as the Elgato capture card into the machine. All right, I'll explain more on that later once I screw in this cooler. Oh, I've already bent some of the fins here. That's not nice. Let's see if I can correct that here by just applying some gentle force, pulling at the fin so it's not touching the other fin and impeding cooling performance. Alright, how about the other side? The other side looks just fine. Dicecast saying, take out your dried out gasket material and just beat the devil out of it. And when you're almost done, you have to take the leftover bits and make a cabin out of it. Okay, well, I'll see if I can accommodate your request, Dicechuck. It might be a little advanced for me, but who knows? When I was first putting together computers, I didn't know what I was doing. So maybe I can work carpentry into my repertoire of skills as well, just by giving it a shot. Never know until I try, right? Alright, so I've pressed the cooler as close against the CPU that I could get visually. Now I'm going to screw in the retention screws to the back of the motherboard and get that cooler nice and secure. Oh shit. Bob Ross doesn't say shit, no, but I do. So there we go. Let's put that plastic gasket back on there properly. I can barely see properly here. This is really not the ideal work case situation. You should have a much bigger desk to work with. You should have a much more well lit station to work with, and ideally all of these things have been fully disconnected from each other before you start working on it at all. But for your entertainment and your edutainment, I have it set up like this just so I can stream it for all of you guys. So what we're doing is we are screwing the retention screws in a crisscross pattern so as to evenly distribute the force across the entire surface of the cooler. And what I'm doing also is I am only halfway screwing in the screw for each screw before making sure that all of it is threaded in. So now that I know all of the screws are at least a little bit threaded in, I can go over once more and screw a little bit, twist a little bit, twist a little bit, and twist a little bit more, just to make sure that you're giving even pressure across the entire surface. So I'm going to do that once more, this time in reverse. Twist this one a little bit more, this one, and then here. Oh, that's actually all the way twisted in. So there we go. That should be plenty pressure keeping the cooler pressed against the IHS, the internal integrated heat spreader, on top of the CPU substrate, and keep it in place even though I'm not using adequate silicone to adhere it to the substrate. All right, so all of this in reverse again. So we just want to make sure that the cables underneath are in proper position. Let's move this USB 3 header cable out of the way for now. Just stay put there, little buddy. You'll get your turn. Then make sure that we slide in the motherboard at the correct angle here to make sure all of the I/O ports are fitting through the I/O shield before making sure that you are clear. All of the screw holes for the motherboard standoffs are clear for you to reapply all of the screws. Make sure everything is in place. Now, I'm just clearing up a space here because the jumper cables, or the cables for the header, the front panel header, are blocking that screw hole over here on the what part of the screen? On the top left portion of what you guys could see. I think there might be a thick cable underneath that might be getting in the way. Let's do this again. Or I'll just take a peek at here. Ooh, so sorry. I keep forgetting the microphone is attached to this. I'm not usually using a headset mic to talk with you guys. Okay, it's really the front panel headers. So I just need to nudge that cable a little bit. There we go. Get out of the way, buddy. All right, good enough. Good enough. Now we can screw in the motherboard screws again. Eric saying I'm getting called into FF14 to help a guildmate, but I'll see you again tonight. Hopefully, if your computer repair goes well. See you later, everyone. Good night, Dice Chef. You will definitely see a stream tonight. Whether or not that will be hosted by my computer or Mark's remains to be seen, but we will know in just a moment, actually. Because once I get all of these little screws tucked in, I'll be able to find out if the cooling is improved after running a quick stream test or even a simple game test, like maybe Son of a Witch, play a round or two and see if I can actually finish before it overheats. Hopefully it won't overheat at all. But if I can get in a single round of Son of a Witch, maybe 30, 25 minutes or so of that game without the computer shutting down, then that will already have been an improvement on all fronts. So take care, Eric. Have a good day. Have a good life. And I'll see you when I see you. Ooh, that was my phone. Sorry about that. Forgot to turn off the vibration. Hope you guys didn't hear that. Or if you did, I hope it wasn't too distracting. All right. So I've got all the motherboard screws screwed back in. Now we'll take care of the USB 3 cable, the USB 3 header. Just plug that back in here. Got to make some room for it. And there we go. Little push, and that's back inside. Now you might be wondering, why is this computer case so darn small? And that's a great question, actually. This computer case was built for small form factor builds that use a mini ITX motherboard. That's why this motherboard is very, very small compared to the standard It's the Century version 1 case, which is extremely slim profile. If I show you on camera once again, here you go, before I put the SATA cables back. That is how slim this case is. I think it's less than 80 millimeters or 8 centimeters slim. Well, for sure, less than 8 centimeters slim. Like visually, you can already tell. The reason why I went for a small form factor case is because in the early days of Dicecast, I thought that we might need to bring the stream PC around from location to location, from house to house, or if we wanted to do event coverage, we might need to actually bring the PC out, and we did get to do that. I think most recently at Action to Aid, or Turn Undead, rather, the Halloween event last year. I brought this stream PC to the actual venue, set it up there. Um, at Action to Aid as well last year, we brought this to Quezon City, or sorry, to Pasig City, and streamed from that venue. In the early days of Dicecast, when we were still filming from or streaming from multiple locations, from GG Networks streaming, dedicated streaming room, to my living room, to Sarah's living room. We brought this everywhere. So this computer has really been around the block. It's been places that a standard tower computer, it would be a lot harder to carry around. And so even though it's kind of a bear to work with, small case and having to work your fingers into really tight places, I'm very happy with it because we've been able to do work that we wouldn't have been able to stream at places where we wouldn't have been able to if we had a bigger case. I put these screws in the wrong order. So go ahead and just redo this and apply this one first. I need to do it in this order because this top screw area, the screw hole is only wide enough just for the screw. There's no excess gap to slide around just in case you need to have some extra tolerance for various widths of SSD screw holes on the side. Okay, so that's in. Let's work on the next SSD. Do you bring a UPS with you too? That's a good question, and unfortunately, we do not. It would be extra good if we could bring a UPS with us, because especially a UPS capable of providing sine wave power, that is uninterrupted power between its capacitors and the PSU in this computer. But I have not come across such a PSU or such a UPS here in the Philippines. They're very, very, very common in the States and in Amazon, but I haven't seen that here. I've only seen the crappy, really cheap UPS supplies, UPS units here that don't really offer much in terms of protection at all. Now, this is for you, Santagoy and Xmori. Let me adjust the focus here on my jank cam just a little bit. So this is the reason why I went with the Galax Katana GPU. As you can see, this is the GPU. This right here, it's very, very slim. This part down here is not part of the graphics card. It's actually the Elgato 4K Pro, which ends up to around here. I think the light catches that quite well. So you can see the graphics card and the capture card are taking up the same space that one single graphics card of a usual dual slot size would be taking. That's why I went with this case. That's why I went with this graphics card, because this is the only configuration that I could think of to get such a slim form factor with the full streaming hardware that we needed at the time. Short of buying a laptop, of course. If I bought a streaming laptop, that's a different story. It would be a hell of a lot more expensive, but it would work. There's nothing inherently advanced or different about a desktop than a laptop, uh, as long as it's got the cores, as long as it's got the uh, GPU powered acceleration. If you use that, video encoding acceleration, if you use that, you can stream from a laptop just as you can with a desktop. I mean, I'm doing it right now. Yeah, this stream is being run through my work laptop, which doesn't even have a dedicated graphics card and barely has enough compute power to encode this video at super fast um, H.264 preset. But it's working. I mean, arguably, it is working. It's not a pretty picture, but it is working. Now, the reason why we built this computer instead of getting a cheapo laptop or using this cheapo laptop for on-the-go streaming is because we wanted quality. We wanted to give you guys a stream that's worth watching, visually, audibly, orally, I guess. Um, Not something that would look like a potato even at 1080p resolution, because with as much, even given all the bitrate in the world, say 50,000 bitrate and 1080p 60 fps encoding settings, it would just not look good if the CPU or the GPU are not good enough to encode all of those pixels uh, in a timely manner. You know, it would look like you would get artifacting, much like this stream right now. Oh well, it doesn't look good right now because it's not in focus. But if you zoom in to any particular point in the stream right now, you'll probably notice that there's a lot of pixel crush. Pixel crush being a term used to describe how a pixel looks when there's a lot of interpolation going on, a lot of poor interpolation going on between pixels. All right. You see that a lot. Like maybe if you watched the last or one of the later episodes of the last season of Game of Thrones, I think it was the Battle of Winterfell. It was so dark and so grainy that in some monitors and with some streamed versions of it, you would just see chunks of black, entire chunks, squares of black on the screen, when obviously it should not be a square of black. There should be a little bit more detail. That is what happens when there's bad interpolation between pixels due to poor encoding quality or poor bit rate. So that's called black crush. I think that's black crush. There might be a different term for it. I might be thinking of something else entirely. But that poor interpolation is something that you see in streams all the time when inexperienced streamers are using incorrect stream settings, not befitting their actual hardware capability to stream their games or their content. So I don't know if any of you really cared about that tidbit information, but there you go. I'm just trying to talk and provide you guys some vocal commentary while I'm doing something really, really boring. Literally just putting in some screws with an Allen key. Oh, my fingers are filthy, honestly. Look at that. That's gross. Probably shouldn't be tightening these two too much because, oh, I knocked over a cable. Hopefully that didn't disconnect any of the video inputs to this laptop. Anyway, I was saying I probably shouldn't be tightening these too tight because I might have to open it up in case this doesn't boot at all, right? That could be a very, very serious problem. Okay. And the last screw going in. It is now 1:43. This will probably be the last thing that I show on stream, but we can actually test to see if this will now post. So I'm going to go ahead and move the camera over, well, the webcam at least, over this way, so you guys can see me as I'm plugging everything in. Another incredibly boring part of the stream, but I hope you all bear with me. Wow, look at that. This jack setup here. Okay. I think I could set this up on a tripod, or you know what? Yeah, I'll just unplug this. There we go. So that's going to be a black screen for a little while, but what I'll do is I'm going to plug the other end of it now into the capture card um, of the computer so you guys can see the boot up if it happens, if and when it happens. And watch with me. Oh, there goes the camera. Watch with me as I do some thermal testing on the whole shebang. Oh, wow. I'm making everyone dizzy with this webcam thing. Sorry. Just all of my apologies to you guys. Here, let's disable it first, yeah? Disable C920. Oop, that's off. While I actually put it down somewhere stable. Oops. Oopsidy doodah. Okay, what's in the way? What's in the way? There we go. Putting that under. Feeding that through. Oh, gotta go under the HDMI cable as well. And feed that through. Gotta go around the power cable as well. And feed that through. All right. Okay. Let's turn this on again. Here we go. C920. What do you see? That's a little too high. Let's put that a little lower. There we go. This is a monitor arm. Ignore that. Ooh. There. That should give you guys a better view. Ah. All right. I'm going to take this foot. This is the foot of the, or not foot, the base stand. There, that's the word I'm looking for. The vertical stand for my chassis, my CPU chassis. And you'll see it fit right into that tiny sliver of a slot beside my desk. Okay. There we go. Hope it works. Yes, I hope it works too, Dice Chuck. Thanks. This part is really, really annoying because I really don't have a lot of room to work with. Also, I'll be moving some cables. It's possible that the connection might be lost here. So just hope and pray that I don't jostle anything that shouldn't be moved. I'm only going to be plugging in the essentials. So let's plug in the power and the video, and then see if everything works. Power and video. Here we go. Into GPU slot. And second monitor. Right here. Ooh, thunderclap. My goodness. I hope that's not a premonition of what's to come. Okay. Then I said that I was going to grab the HDMI cable, right, for the capture card and feed that in here so that we can hopefully see together, what exactly is going on here. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's see how this all looks. Power on. Okay. We have power. We do have power. So that red LED is a good sign. Dicechuck says, played 3-player Son of a Witch today and didn't get as far as you and I did. The 2 guys I played with just weren't as experienced at roguelikes or as cooperative as yourself. Oh, that's too bad. It's always a bummer when you don't get the kind of play experience that you want with some friends. But practice makes perfect. I wasn't a roguelike player, or I didn't consider myself a roguelike player for a long time until maybe 100 hours in Ancient Domains of Mystery. This is not powering on the monitor, but you know what? It might be because the BIOS reset and isn't using the graphics card slot as its video out. So let me try again, but this time plugging it into the motherboard graphics cards, the motherboard output. Okay, just gotta find it, the darn thing. So many cables back here. This is not good. This is not a good example of cable management prowess here. I'm usually much better than this, but I really just wanted to get this done quickly and clean up later. So here we go, plugging it into the motherboard graphics, the motherboard output or input. If I can see it right. All right. I'm flipping the cable up and down, just not able to plug it in. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's try that again. Gonna force power off. Oops. It's not turning off. There we go. Now it's off. That should be restarted. And hopefully we get an output. Should come up on stream literally right now. Uh-oh. We're not getting anything. Let me activate that again. Oh, there we go. That's my desktop. Okay, great. Great. Now, of course, I can't move anything because there's no mouse plugged into it. Let's go ahead and see if I can plug all of the other peripherals in and then quickly do a something that could tax its thermals. Okay, well that's really good news. I'm already happy that this did not break. You know, that's good news. That's very, very good news. Just put this back here. Get some stuff out of the way. I need a lot of room to work with back here. The computer case might be small, but another thing about small form factor is just how much space you need to work with behind everything. Okay, grab this cable, which you guys can't see. Here, let me see if I can help you guys out here with a little visual. See you guys, so you guys can see what I'm working with here. What was that? Oh, that was my phone. Okay. All right, so that's pitch black. Let me get some light in there. That nest of cables is what I have to work with to try and, make sure everything is plugged in properly. Here we go. This is the cable I'm looking for. And gotta plug that in right over here. Oh man, it's hard to get in there. I'm gonna unplug the video cable first, so you're gonna lose video output because I can't see where to plug these in. But it'll come back in a little. Just give me a sec. Once we're all booted up with all the peripherals, I'm going to test to make sure that, all of the mice, keyboards are working. There we go. Plugged in. And I'm going to plug in the video once more. There you go. All right. Santiago is saying, I was totes wondering if it would explode, huh? Yeah, I was too. Dang, you guys are really not supportive, huh? Really, really, really not supportive at all. Okay, so I have a little bit of difficulty working with this right now because the output is going to my laptop screen, not to my desktop monitor. Grab the webcam so you guys can see what's going on. This is normally my desktop, if you look at the webcam area, but the output is going to my laptop right now. So I'm going to have to crane my head or twist my head a little bit, you know, that way. That's how I can actually see. Can you hear the fan running, JP? I can hear it and feel it. The fan is taking in air. It's working just fine. Excuse me. Core temps already seem to be lower than normal. So here, let me open that up for you. I have CPU temp going up. The minimum here is 37 for all cores, right? Before I applied this fix, it would boot up and immediately hit 45. So that's a very, very good sign already. That's a very good sign. Let's see if I have my benchmarking tools at the ready. I know I don't have internet connection right now because I'm using the laptop. I'm using the Ethernet cable on the laptop to be able to provide you guys a good stream. But here, let's start in offline mode. There we go. We'll start up one of my benchmarking tools. Sorry, installed software. Oh, okay. My benchmarking tools are not installed. That's a little bit sad. Uh, let's do Ada 64. Although I can't download it because I'm not connected. Darn it! Darn all these technicalities. All right, I'll install the hard drive. I'm just gonna plug it in. It's really just plugging in the hard drive, and then that should give us, all of the access to my library. I have an external hard drive set up on this because you saw it when I opened up the computer. You saw how little space there was in there for anything to be plugged in. All right, hard drive should be plugged. Hello, webcam. Don't lose focus. Um, view games. I think it should show up any second now, as long as I can. Where's the thing I'm looking for? Downloads. Here we go. Steam library folders. C and E, and there should be one more. All right, that's C, D, nope, F, and games. There we go. Steam. Select. There we go. And then JP explodes. Oh my goodness. All right, so we can do PC Mark or 3D Mark. Let's go with 3D Mark. Just want to make sure that my graphics card is actually available. So we'll open a device manager. Oh, what am I doing? It's just right click. There we go. Right click. I couldn't see device manager from there, so I'll just go ahead and open it from here. Okay. And is the GPU detected? No. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have to restart this. Maybe he'll explode over time by gaining daddy weight. Yeah. Yeah. That's sure. All right. Hey, Iron Hammer, River Jesus. Yes. I'm just trying to fix the stream PC, which it looks like is fixed. So we're restarting it. Let's get into the BIOS and make sure to re-enable all of the PCI shit that I put together. Oh dang! Did it crash on? It fucking crashed on restart. Oh son of a bitch! Oh, are you doing dual system? This is, if you can call it that. I'm streaming off my work laptop right now, which is why the stream looks like balls. Okay, let's close this. I'm going to restart the Elgato. Reactivate, I mean. Deactivate, activate. Show me the BIOS. Show me the BIOS. Oh, you sick son of a bitch. Okay. Alright. Taint working. Um, I'll unplug and replug once again. That seemed to fix it. That seemed to have fixed it last time. Unplug, replug. What's wrong with the streaming PC? What was wrong with the streaming PC was I think that the liquid metal application that I did on it a year and a half ago dried up a little. So I reapplied liquid metal, and it already initial readings just from boot up seem like it's helped. But I want to do a test. I want to do some benchmarking and hopefully confirm. Come on. All right. I've got to get back in there. Give me a second. Because, if it's working properly anyway, it booted up once, so it's working properly. We just need to figure out why the graphics card isn't being used, and I think I know why. It's because the BIOS reset and is now using the GPU. The display out of the motherboard instead of the GPU. Okay, there we go. Come on, you stupid HDMI cable, plug in. Holy crap! Am I plugging it into the right hole? That's what he said. There. Okay. Yes, we have BIOS. Here. We do have BIOS here on the actual, like if I output to the monitor. So just showing you what we're going to change here. I don't know if the webcam is going to pick this up at all, but here we go. Yeah, it reset. So my settings, my BIOS settings were reset entirely. We're going to go ahead and do 0.6. And for the GPU, we're just going to do 30 gigahertz. And for this, we want auto. And CPU ratio is just auto. We don't want multi-core enhancement. Disable that shit. Because this is a very constrained system in terms of thermal dissipation. So multi-core enhancement, while it will give me boosted clocks, it will also cause the temps to skyrocket. We don't want that. All right, so that should be it for CPU. For DRAM, we just want XMP. Yeah, good enough. XMP profile 1 is fine. Voltage, we don't have to mess with that. It looks like it's, oh, that's a little high. Let's put it in auto. Yeah, VCore was a little high, 1.35. Holy crap. Okay, so that should be fine now. And then the good stuff that we want to get to is here in the chipset configuration, the PCI. There we go. Riser card support is enabled. It didn't disable that, so I don't know why it wasn't using the graphics card at the time. Onboard LAN, IGPU monitor is enabled. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and exit. We'll just save changes and exit. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to just rejigger all of these cables. Boom, boom, boom. Just temporarily putting stuff where it's convenient for me to have them right now. You guys will see it up on stream again in a little bit. Don't worry. Okay. And force a reboot. Ironhammer saying, putting a Terminator on the PC. Yikes. That kind of is what it felt like earlier. If you backtrack in the stream or watch the VOD later, you can see exactly how viscous the liquid metal it was. It really is like, it's just like running water. Super viscous. Uh-huh. Why is it not popping up again? Why are you being so picky? Damn it, stupid computer. It's being really picky. Sometimes it displays, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Let's see if I can get the Elgato shows. Properties. Deactivate. Activate. Nope. Okay. Well, I'm not going to be able to keep the stream up for much longer because this is just not entertaining at all for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'll give it one more shot, one more attempt to reboot. And if it won't, I'm going to continue figuring out what's wrong with this on my own. So you guys can get bored out there. and it's already 2 o'clock. So like that's past our normal stream schedule already. And I'm getting readouts on my peripherals here, so it should be working just fine. There's my keyboard lighting up again. I'm not getting any images. Sucks. But at least the good news is that it's working. Like I didn't break it for that would have been heartbreaking. And this I can work with because if it wasn't the liquid metal problem and it wasn't the, the CPU cooler problem, and it wasn't anything else that I checked, then I wouldn't know how to fix it. But this, because it's booting now and because it's showing lower temperatures on boot than it did just an hour ago or just a couple hours ago, I know that I'm on the right track. All right. Not sure exactly. Not sure why it's not displaying out any display out. Let me try removing everything from the graphics card. I didn't unplug the graphics card, did I? No. And I did reinsert the PCIe cable. Yeah, I believe it. Oh dang. Maybe I forgot to reinsert the PCIe cable. Oh dang. That would suck. Anyway, I'm gonna put an end to the stream. I gave it one more shot. This is not displaying anything on the Elgato thing, is it? It is not. All right, I'm gonna have to figure this out on my own. And until then, hopefully, this means that we can still stream later in the evening. I will let Mark know that there's still hope. Hello, Lenovo. I don't know why it shows that to display right now, but there we go. Play this, JP. What is this? What is this? Ah. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna let Mark know that for now he should be on standby to host the evening tabletop stream. Yeah, but there will be an evening tabletop stream. So if you guys are still interested in watching, oops, that was my that was my impromptu BRB scene because I had to like this is a never before used for streaming laptop, so everything was completely set up in its room. But yeah, there should be a stream later in the evening with Mark. It wasn't for lack of trying. Nice try, JP. Yes, nice try, all of us. It was a good learning experience, I think. Hope I can still fix it. Yes, I hope so too. I think it's fixed. It's really fixed. It's just there are. This comes with PC building. There's always some finagling to go through. Like I might have forgotten something on the inside. So don't worry. I'll have this fixed. Today there will be a stream in the evening, 7:30 p.m. or in about 5 hours 20 minutes. There will still be a stream in the evening where we will do normal table talk, not any more of this PC building crap. And if you want to tune in to catch your weekly news of D&D, role play, tabletop, and other geeky stuff, go ahead and tune in then. Until next time, see you guys. This has been JP. Take care. Roll kindly. And I guess stay out of the dark, or else you will be eaten by a creep. Bye bye.